Hello, welcome to chair yoga. So today we're going to be doing things seated in the chair, standing with the chair, and a few things maybe on our knees with the chair, and then down on the floor. So that being said, prop wise, I am sitting in a backless chair. This is a yoga chair, it's a folding chair, but any chair that doesn't have arms on it and a little bit more space under here is going to be fine for today. Blocks you may or may not need. I'm a short person, I'm 4'10". So me using blocks doing seated chair stuff makes me a little bit more ergonomically correct. So that's why I've brought them in. If you're a taller person, you may not need those. So keep that in mind. Sitting on a folded blanket on this chair also helps me sit a little straighter in the chair. So I'm not sitting all the way back in my chair. I'm sitting more to the front. So you can choose to use this blanket or not. I will also be using this blanket when we do some kneeling stuff later for knee cushions. Strap, we're going to use that just to open up the upper body here in a moment. But I'm going to leave, actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and bring that, and I'm just going to put that right there. Good. So from here, let's go ahead and get into our space. So if you need to kind of do a little bit of a wiggle, go ahead and do that. And then sit nice and tall, ears, shoulders, and hips in alignment. I'm zipping up from the pubic bone to behind the navel so my belly button is in. And I'm just going to let my hands and arms relax wherever it is they need to be. And as I sit here, I'm going to notice, is there anywhere in the body that I could soften just a little bit more? Then once I've softened, bringing that awareness to the breath. Is that breath calm, smooth, anxious, rapid, choppy? Do I breathe in and out through the nose, the mouth, or a combination? Do I breathe with my shoulders, with the belly, or an expansion of the rib cage on that inhale? Good. And then let's change that breath pattern if we can. Inhaling through the nose. See if you can expand that breath. And slowly release. Inhale, expand that breath. And slowly release. Good. Let's do a 4x4 breath. We're going to inhale for 4, exhale for 4. Big inhale and expand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Box breathing with 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Arms and hands to the side, palms turning up. Inhale, reach, 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 and lengthen. Good. Exhale, hands in heart center. Creating an intention for your practice. What would you like to give or receive from this practice? You can always dedicate this practice to someone or something. Yourself is always an option. And once you have that up, let's take a big inhale and reach. Let's get a side bend here. So I'm going to kind of press into the side of my chair here. That's giving me just a little bit more leverage as I side bend over. Good. And see if you do this thing where you kind of collapse to the shoulder. And if you open that up so your shoulders are a little bit more in line with the hip. And then using your obliques, your side abs will come back up. Good. Right hand's going to come down. Left arm's going to come up. Inhale, exhale. Get a nice side bend over here. Breathe and expand. When you're ready, good. We'll come back up from here. Let's go into a gentle twist. I'm going to take my right hand to the outside of my left thigh. My right hand can come behind me somewhere on the chair. It's okay to hold on. Find length, so long spine when we twist, and we'll rotate. Good. And I'm just trying to let the shoulders relax. Good. I still don't want to crank in the spine, but I want to breathe and expand. And inhale, exhale, coming back to center. Other side, left hand to the outside of the right thigh. Good. This hand can come somewhere on the chair, lifting up and rotating and finding that gentle twist. Always twisting from length. And coming back to center. Good. Let's open up the shoulders a little bit here. So I'm going to take my arms out to the side and I'm just going to rotate. Good. And then palms up, hands to the shoulders, moving forward and back here. Good. As you come together, if your elbows don't touch, that's okay, but think about separating the shoulder blades. And as you open, squeezing them together. Try to keep the shoulders in line with the elbows, or elbows in line with the shoulders. So try not to do this from down here. Be lifted. Good. If it would feel good to you to take this into some circles, we'll take this into some circles. Good. In other direction. Good. And shake that out. Good. So I'm going to grab my strap here. Good. And we're going to move forward and back to kind of open up. So if you, depending on what you're using, if you've got a little buckle or clasp, then kind of hold on to the end of that. So when we move forward and back, you don't have to worry about this potentially hitting you in the face. But I'm going to spread my pointer and my thumb wide, so my strap comes in there. Good. And I'm going to come up and come back just a little bit. My arms are long and come back down. And we'll go again. I'm going to lift and take it back and take it forward. Now you can choose to move forward and back here. The chair may or may not stop you. The farther you go back, you still want long arms. So if you feel like you have to bend your elbows to do that, take a wider grip on your strap. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, find the optimal spot for you to get a good stretch here, which might not be your full range of motion. Good. And when we're ready, good, we'll take this up and take this down. We're not going to use this strap anymore, so I'm just going to kind of toss that out to the side. But we're going to go into a down dog here. So I'm going to come off my block. I'm going to move them to the side. I'm going to move my blanket to the side here as well. So different ways you can do down dog, and it really depends on your flexibility here. So easiest is the back of the chair. You're just going to take your hands here. Good. You'll step back. We've got a long spine. Hips are going to come back. It's okay to bend those knees as needed. Ears are going to come by the biceps. Okay. So this is one way you can do it. If you're a little bit more flexible, then you can take your hand to the chair seat and find your down dog from here. Again, you can take a bent knee, you can take long legs, I'm going to step my feet back a little bit more here. Good. Ears are by the biceps though. And I'm breathing here. My belly button is in, my spine is long. I'm pressing the shoulders away from me. And then just like in a flow class, if you want to bend one knee and then lengthen the other leg. Nope, let's move these out of the way here so you can see. Good. Then you can walk your dog here. Good, and then just find some stillness, find some breath. And when you're ready, good. I'm going to look forward and I'm just going to walk my feet back in. Good, close to that chair. So we're going to come into a warrior two here, and I'm going to give this in a couple different levels. So you've got level 1, super beginner, being on a chair. So if you're here, good. I'm going to come to the edge of my chair. I'm just going to turn this way. Good. Again, because I'm short, I'm bringing my blocks in here, but if you're taller, you may not need that. And you may not need one in the back. I don't think I need one in the back. Good. So I'm going to take this back leg. I'm warrior prepping it. So my hip, knee, and toe are turned at an angle. Good. This hip, knee, and toe are facing forward. I'm still taking that hip of the chair hip here back. Good. Now, once I've turned my hips this way, I'm going to turn the torso this way because warrior two is a twist. Good. So this is a supported warrior two here. So if you're not real strong in your legs, this is a good place to be in practice. You're still working on strengthening here and you're working on form here. If you're ready to move beyond this, but still need a little bit of support in your warrior two, good, then you can come next to a wall or using your chair. Good. So I'm going to step really close here. So I'm kind of using my chair as a guide. So my knee stays over the ankle, okay, so it doesn't go beyond it. And then I'm going to mindfully step this foot back. So I want a heel to heel or heel to arch alignment with this foot. This leg can come out a little bit longer or a little bit wider here if you need it. So you've got support up against the wall if you need that. You've also got a hand here on the chair if you need to do that as you come here. And then maybe one day you can be here. Good. Good. So if you don't need this support, but you need a little bit of foot or hand here, you can always move this forward. Good. And find your warrior two here. Same as when you're seated, that front hip is back hip is forward, hips are at that angle, you're going to twist and you're going to reach. Good. Take those breaths. Gaze is going to be right over. Belly button is in. So when you're standing here using the chair, you've got the chair for a little bit of stability and balance, but the gravity is going into the force. So now you're working a little bit more strongly into those feet and those legs. Hips and back are working a little bit harder. And when you're ready, good, we're going to come out of there. Good, we're going to take that to the other side. So again, good, if you need the support of the chair, good, then you'll just turn to the other side. Good. Again, you may not need the block here, but I do. Good. I'm going to take that back. Good. I'm warrior prepping. So my hip, knee, and toe are at 45-ish degrees. Good. This hip, knee, and toe are tracking forward. Good. I'm just going to kind of take this hip a little bit more forward here. Belly button is in. I can hold on and stay here. You know, as I open up, you can come to standing and do what we did before. So I'm going to stay here on this side for right now. But if you need to come up against a wall and use the chair with your hand on it for stability, use it for the knee alignment support, just like we did on the other side, then find that there. And so about 4 to 5 breaths is what we're looking for here, which is about anywhere between 20 to 30 seconds, depending on how you breathe. And then when we're ready, good. We'll carefully release and come out of there. Good. We're going to come into a triangle with the chair. So for this triangle, I like to use the chair this way. Now, again, you don't have to be up against the wall, but you can if that's what you need. So your chair this way, hand here, is a little bit higher than maybe a block would give you in a different yoga position class. But from here, I'm going to start the same way as my warrior two. I'm going to take my leg out. Good. So heel to heel or heel to arch alignment. Good. This leg is going to be long here. Okay. So I'm rooting my feet in. My front hip's going to come back. My back hip's going to come forward. This knee is unlocked. So here's a locked knee. Here's a soft knee. Make it soft. Good. I'm rooting into my feet and I'm going to lengthen. And then my hand's going to come to the chair seat. And then I'm going to open up here. Good. So I'm not as deep in this triangle. But it can help you come in there when you're just starting. Not everybody can have a long spine when they come into a triangle. And yes, we want a long spine and triangle. It is not a forward fold. And when you're ready, we'll come out of there. Good. While we're here, before we go to the other side, let's go into a pyramid variation. So I'm going to take both hands on this chair. Some of you might need to flip your chair around and come up here, but I'm going to swivel up my back foot here. Good. So I'm on parallel railroad tracks with my feet. My left hip is back. My right hip is coming forward. So my pelvis is even. I'm going to press back through that heel. The heel does not have to be grounded, but it might be. And then you're going to choose, is this enough for you? Or do you have a little bit more? Could you come a little bit more here? So find what you need. So I'm getting a good hamstring stretch in my left leg, just being right here. Try not to collapse and go in here. So try to be lifted and supported. It is a little bit harder, but it's better. We're breathing. And when you're ready, good. I'm going to take my hands back to the edge of the seat. I'm going to put a bend in that front knee. I'm going to step the back foot forward and come up from here. We're going to take that to the other side. So I'm just going to move this chair to the side. Good. So pretend coming into, I don't know why I was getting ready to say pretend. We're not pretending anything here. We're always doing it. Good. So setting yourself up for triangle here. Good. So I've got my right foot here. I'm going to step my left foot back. Good. I'm finding that alignment, the heel to heel, heel to arch alignment. This back leg, hip, knee, and toe. We're at that 45-degree angle. Front hip is going to come back. Back hip's going to come forward. Good. And then from here, I'm going to lengthen. Again, you might be here. This might be you. You might be down here. Find it where you need to find it. Try not to collapse and be lazy with the arm. Be strong. Remember, spine is long. You don't have to be up against a wall. I'm kind of a few inches away from mine, but it is an option to help you if that's something that your body needs right now as you develop your strength and your balance. And everybody has to start somewhere. And when you're ready, good. We'll look down at that foot. Good. I'm going to put a bend in that knee just to transition. Good. So hands can be at the edge or more towards the back. Good. I'm going to swivel up that back foot. Good. And you can decide and kind of for yourself. So I'm pretty open. I can have a longer stance here with my leg, but you might not be there, and that's okay too. So your back heel can be lifted or grounded here. My front hip is going to come back. The back hip's going to come forward. Good. I've got a long spine. my belly button is in. Maybe this is it. Maybe I can take my arms a little bit more forward. So find what you need here for your pyramid variation. Breathe and expand. This is also a little bit of upper body strengthening here with the chair versus the blocks. You have to hold yourself up on the chair. Belly button is in. Good. And when you're ready, good. I'm going to bend this front knee. Good. I'm going to take my hands back to the edge. Back foot's going to come up and come to standing. Now you should feel, some nice opening in here from what we just did. We're going to take this into a standing twist here. So different things for different people. We're going to do this in two different versions. So first, we're going to start with a bent knee. So I'm going to take my right foot here, just because that's the side up against my wall. Good. I want to make sure that this bottom leg is also facing forward and isn't turning out or doing something funny. So from here, this might be where you stay. You can practice your balance here too. Nothing wrong with that. Otherwise, good. I'm going to take my left hand forward, left arm forward. My right hand's going to stay right here. You can also put that hand on a wall if you've got it. And I'm going to open and rotate. Long spine. Looking behind me. And coming back. My back will be to you here, but I'm going to take my left hand on the right thigh. Right arm is up. Good. You can come to that wall if you want to, or just reach it behind you as you twist and look behind you. You're relaxing the shoulders. Long spine. And then coming back to center. Good. So let's try that on the other side. Good. I'm just going to stay right here. My left foot's going to come up here. Good. I'm going to turn that way for a moment, but left hand's going to be here. Good. Right arm's going to come up. Actually, I don't like that. That's not the way I did it on the other side. Never mind that. Good. Now my left foot's going to come up. Right arm's going to come forward. I'm standing tall. I have this tendency when I do this with the chair that my hips and everything want to turn out to the side. Try not to let them do that. So be mindful, especially if chair yoga is something new to you. We'll take this up. Open. Long spine. Get into the heel. Get into the hip. So try not to lean here. Be nice and tall. And breathe. If you're a beginner, think of the strength that you're building here. Strong muscles, strong bones. Good. And we'll come back. Good. To the other side, my right hand's going to come to that left leg. Left arm's going to come up. Good. I'm going to turn and take it back. You can also come to a wall here if that's what you need. And always twisting from length. And when you're ready, we'll come up and come back. Good. So while I'm here, I'm going to use this on the left side. So now we're going to do this with a long leg. So just kind of see what this is prepping for. There is a balance challenge in traditional yoga classes where you're bound and you can come here and do the opening and the twisting that we just did. Not everybody can lift up that high. So you can train yourself by taking a long leg here and just starting there. Good. Taking that twist, same like that. If you're like, well, I can get my leg higher than that, but I just can't hold it up there, then you can train yourself by taking your leg higher. which is what I'm going to demonstrate here. So I have to pick up and put myself up there, but you can put, the back of the heel up here. Maybe you need, the thigh, or not the thigh, but the calf muscle up here. If this is too much, you can always put a blanket on here and go there. So find what you need here. Good. And you can practice the balance here. Good. I'm going to take this forward. I'm going to open. Admittedly, this is a stretch that I do in my kitchen sometimes, not with shoes on, while I'm waiting for different things to get done on the stove or in the oven, until my husband catches me. Then he's like, "You can't do yoga in the kitchen." But I do it anyway. And then you can take that into the opposite side. And then coming back to center. Good. Wherever you put your foot, carefully remove it, taking it off of there. Shake out the supporting leg. We're going to take that to the other side. So I'm just going to switch this over. Good. So again, remember, you can have your leg on the seat if that's where you are, if that's where you need to be. If you don't need that because you can go a little bit higher, then pick yourself up, hold on to the chair as you pick yourself up and put you up there. Good. And practice here. I'm a little bit more sensitive on this side. Good. So hip, knee, and toe track forward as best as you can. Again, you can practice balance here. And take the arms forward, opening to the left. Coming back center and opening to the other side. Breathe. Good again. Try not to collapse to the spine. We want to be long and strong. And coming back center. Good. Carefully take your foot off wherever it is that you put it. Good. We're going to work on planks here with the chair. Good. Different things for different people. Some of you might need to do a knee down plank, and there's nothing wrong with that. So if that's you, you can come here. Good. And practice your plank from here. Good. So you want to eventually try not to be here. You want to find that length to come here and that core stability. Keep this out of the back. We don't want to be here. That's different. Good. But you want to be here. If this is too easy for you, you're beyond this, then you can find a plank being a little bit lifted, coming here. Good. And again, I'm pushing the chair away from me. Good. I'm finding my length. Good. And I'm going to breathe here. So this is core work. And by core work, I don't just mean the abs. I also mean the back, because both your front and your back are working in a plank. You're also building leg strength in the front and back. You're building upper body strength. Plank is great. It's a whole body exercise. Good. And then when you're ready, based on where you went, if you're on your knees, good. You can just sit back here and get a little stretch. If you're up high, good. You can bring your feet in, come back to a little down dog. Finding that little counter. And then when you're ready, we're going to sit up and practice the chaturanga from here, which is the yoga push-up. So again, I will show you this 2 different ways. Those of you that need this to be a little bit easier, you're going to come onto your knees. Here. Good. So what you want to be mindful of when you're doing the chaturanga is when you come down, your elbows don't go out to the side. Your elbows are in tight to the sides of the body. So to do that, you want to make sure that you've got a little bit of rotation. So your elbows, bends of the elbows are pointing more this way and less internally. So then when you find your plank and roll your shoulders back and your belly button is in, you bend the elbows straight back. You only need to go halfway and push. Halfway and push. Good. Now for a lot of you, this is where you're going to stay. This is also where I recommend you practice if you really need to work on upper body strength. Some of you are a little bit stronger than that. And if you want that extra challenge, you can do this from your standing plank. So you'll find your plank first. Good. Find your length. Good. And then elbows are turning forward. Good. Halfway and push. Okay, that's how to work. Good. Take a break. We're going to do four of your best. If one is all you can do and that's your best, then stay there and take a break. Otherwise, follow me with 4. 4. 3. I'm not collapsing through the shoulders. I'm not collapsing through the chest. 2 and 1. Good. If you're on your knees, sit back, child's pose. If you're up high, step forward a little bit, find a nice down dog again, or a variation of it. Breathe and expand. And then from here, we're going to work on reverse plank. Reverse plank. So I don't teach this one too often in a typical yoga class because it is hard. But I will often do this one on blocks to give me a little bit more lift. But you can practice opening and prepping for that here on the chair. So step 1, you can sit close to the front edge of the chair. Your hands can be down here or back here. Good. And all you're going to do is work on opening up the chest and the shoulders, because if they're really tight, then everything else just doesn't work in reverse plank. So I'm just going to kind of roll back and come forward. This is also a nice supported extension for those who cannot do a deep extension or a back bend. It's a little bit more supported, a little bit more chesty, a little bit more shoulder, a little bit less in the back. Good. So this is step 1, and this feels really good. I almost forgot and just stayed here. But if you're ready to move on from there, your hands are going to come to the seat of your chair. Good. And the next step is with bent knees. Good. You're going to just push. Good. So I'm pushing away from the chair. And then once you're ready, you can take those legs long and find that full reverse plank. And for me, I love reverse plank on the chair so much more than on my mat. I just feel like I'm getting more benefit from the chair, a little bit less into the knees, because sometimes I have a tendency to hyperextend when I'm on the mat, and I can control that with the chair. And then when you're ready, good, carefully bend the knees, good, and find yourself into a seat. Once you found yourself into a seat, just kind of shake that all out. And we'll take the hands forward, clasping the hands, pressing away and around, kind of countering that extension a little bit in the shoulder with a little bit of flex. And when you're ready, good. We're going to do a standing wide leg forward fold here. And then we're going to come down and I'm going to show you a stretch. So I'm just going to be right here. Move this out of the way. So we all know the standing forward fold where you're here and people come here. We're going to do this with support. So I'm going to take my feet out wide. Go as wide as you can. If you're looking for kind of a little bit of a guideline, if you will, take your legs out wide, take your arms out to the side, and ankles and wrists. And that alignment is a good starting position if you can be there. Hip, knees, and toes are tracking forward. Zipping up with a long spine. Good. I'm going to take my hands maybe here. Maybe that's where you need to be. Okay. Maybe you're here on the edge. Maybe you're more towards the back. And if you're a little bit more open and flexible, you can cross your arms here, coming a little bit deeper and letting the head rest. Just like you would if you were doing this on the mat. Maybe the head rests on a block sometimes, or the head can come to the floor. As you become more open, you can begin to take your legs a little bit wider here. Good. But you want your back to be long. And breathing. You also want the same kind of alignment and engagement as you would if you were on a mat. So you still want to press to the outer edges of the feet. You want to avoid the habit of collapsing into the arches. Relaxing through the shoulders. Good. And then when you're ready, good. Based on where you went, good. Carefully use that chair to bring you up out of there. Good. Now I'm going to step the feet in. Good. I'm going to bring my blanket in here. We are going to come to the knees. And then I'm going to show you a nice little shoulder stretch here that you can do with your chair. So it doesn't really matter, what hand starts where. I'll cue you through it, but, we're going to do the same thing here in a minute. So I'm just going to kind of come a little bit here. You can be up here. I'm just going to come it down a little bit. So, and you can also be completely seated, but I'm going to pull this in a little bit here. Good. My right hand's going to come to the outside of this part of the chair. My left hand's going to come up into the other side of the chair. And then I'm going to round. I'm trying to pull the chair apart. Breathe. A nice shoulder stretch, upper back stretch here. And then when you're ready, good. Switch the arms. The arm that was on top is now going to be on the bottom. The bottom arm is now going to be on top. We'll do that again. So pull into the chair, push into the chair, round, find that nice stretch again. Breathe. Return to intention. And then when you're ready, good, we'll release. We're going to come into a gate pose here using the chair, a gate pose. Move this back just a little bit. Good. So we will be on our knees for this. So I'm going to use my blanket as my little cushion. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to be on my left knee, and I'm going to take my right foot and leg underneath my chair. Good. So they're kind of turning up a little bit. They can also kind of come down a little bit. That part's not as important. As long as your hip, knee, and foot are all, going in the same direction. So don't try to take your hip in one direction and then your foot somewhere else. Otherwise, hand's going to be right here. Big inhale, exhale, get a nice side bend over. Good. You want to deepen that, just reach the arm a little bit longer. Good. Again, avoid that shoulder collapse. Try to be nice and open. And breathe. Good. Opening up the side body even a little bit here into the low to mid back. And then we'll come up. Good. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, exhale. Taking that into your gate pose. And coming back up. Good. We're going to take this to the other side. So I'm going to make a small adjustment here. The other reason why I like this yoga chair, this lightweight folding chair, is because it is lightweight and I can move it around very quickly as needed. Good. So I'm going to take the left leg underneath. Good. Right hip and knee here are going to be in that alignment. Good. Watch your rotations here. Hand here, reaching up. Inhale, exhale, side bending over. And reach. Okay. And notice for you, if this is the tighter side or a more open side. This is my more open side. My last side, the left side was a little bit tighter. Good. And then we'll come back up and we're going to take that again. Taking it over And when you're ready, we'll come back up from here. Good, and come down. We're gonna come down onto our back now. Good. So I'm going to kind of build up a little bit here with my bridge. So I've got this folded blanket. And you can have multiple folded blankets. Some people like to have blankets up here on the chair seat. Some people like to have it one under the bum. Some people like to have a blanket under the shoulders, never under the neck. This kind of depends on where you need to be. And actually, you know, now that I think about it, I think that's what I want to do. So the purpose of taking this blanket under the shoulders is because it allows your neck a little bit more space when you come up into these inversions. But that doesn't work if you've got that pillow or blanket or whatever under the neck. So you want the shoulders to be right on the edge. Good. And your head's going to kind of hang down here. Good. And you can come here. Good. And this might just feel good to some of you here. Otherwise, when you're ready, good. I'm going to take my feet more towards the edge of the chair. Good. So my knees are over the hips. And then, good, I'm going to press my hands in and I'm going to lift up. And you're coming into a higher bridge. It's a higher inversion than you normally would come. Good. And we'll lower that back down. Good. And we'll go again. Inhale, exhale, press, lift up into the bridge. And coming down. Good. When you're ready, good. I'm going to take my chair, kind of move that out of the way. Good. I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to take this out from underneath me. Hopefully, I thought that was going to happen with a little bit more grace, but that's all right. Good. And then from here, I'm just going to let myself get a nice windshield wiper. My belly button stays in. You're going into rotation. And we'll come into a Shavasana. Now I'm choosing a Shavasana without the use of the chair. You can do a modified legs up the wall with the feet and the shins resting on the chair. If you would like to do that, that feels really nice. Otherwise, I'm just going to come here today. You can have a bend in the knees. You can let everything come long. You can be on your side. You can be on your belly. Be where it feels good to you. Make yourself about 10% more comfortable. And I'll leave you here for a few moments, reconnecting with your intention and yourself. I'm taking some deep breaths here. Choose stillness or gently take head and neck from side to side. Choose stillness or invite movement of fingers and toes. Choose stillness or taking knees into the chest. Choosing to keep the upper body grounded. Good, which is where you're going to be if you've got osteoporosis or something like that. Or lifted into a C curve here, if that would feel good to you. be okay with you. And then you can stay there like that, or taking legs long in front of you, arms long behind you, reaching from the edge of the fingertips, the edge of the toes, full body stretch, pointing and flexing through the feet, bending and stretching through the hands, wrists, and ankles, and going in one direction and then in the other. And then whenever you're ready, bending in both knees, and you choose rolling over to your side, and side that works best for your body, right or left, taking all the time that you need here. And when you're ready, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat. Good. I'm going to come up to standing and end in my chair where I started. Good, with my intention. I'm a little bit more open now, so I don't need to sit on my blanket, but I will take my block. Sitting up nice and tall. Big inhale and reach, nice and tall. Look up there at those hands. Exhale, hands in the heart center, coming back to that intention you made for yourself one final time. And taking thumbs to the forehead for good and true thoughts, to the lips for good and kind words, and to the heart for open and loving hearts. Knowing no effort on this mat is ever wasted, or in this chair is ever wasted. No gain is ever reversed. May you be safe. May you stay well. May you have a wonderful day, evening, week, month, season ahead. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.